Recent discoveries prove the existence of an imperceptible planet in our very distant solar system. This new planet completes a cycle around the Sun that will last several thousand years. It will soon approach Earth again, and for the first time, we may be able to see Planet 9 with our own eyes. If this happens, we can expect enormous upheavals. What exactly is Planet 9? Is it a pure mystery or a reality? Dr. Mike Brown is certain that it exists and that it could be even bigger than we thought. The initial studies suggested a planet slightly larger than Pluto, but the latest discoveries now show that this planet could be 10 times the size of Earth. This would be a real shock. Such a large and distant planet would be a scientific sensation. It is very likely that this planet follows an orbit so elliptical that it spends thousands of years beyond the Kuiper Belt and then returns to the inner solar system for a few thousand years. According to Mike Brown, the planet is approaching the inner solar system right now, and dozens of telescopes are focused on the empty spaces where the presence of Planet 9 is suspected. The one who discovers it first will go down in the history of astronomy. This is clear. Of course, Mike Brown wants to be the official discoverer, as he has dedicated nearly 20 years of his career to the search for the last great planet of the solar system, Planet 9. How did scientists arrive at this idea? When you think of Planet 9, you probably think of terms like Planet 10, Planet X, or even the fictional Nibiru. This isn't surprising because these terms are all somehow connected. Planet 9 was once called Planet 10 when Pluto was still the 9th official planet of the solar system. But when Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet, Planet 9 became the new name. Nibiru is actually the invention of a science fiction writer who drew from ancient Sumerian writings about a cruel planet that would bring destruction to Earth. However, the authenticity of these claims is strongly doubted in the realm of serious science. Let us stick to strictly scientific facts. Planet 9 has become apparent in a sense because certain objects in the Kuiper Belt behave so strangely that scientists think another large planet could be responsible for these anomalies. These objects, also known as trans-Neptunian objects or Kuiper Belt objects, present such a striking grouping of their orbits that it is highly likely that a large object is responsible for this agglomeration. Several calculations have shown the consistency of this hypothesis, and Mike Brown has repeatedly provided new calculations and evidence over the past 2 decades. Many counter-studies have tried to invalidate the theory of Planet 9, but Brown has proven otherwise and shown that the irregularities of these objects can only be coherently explained by the existence of another planet. In the history of astronomy, such orbital irregularities have often been used to predict the existence of a planet before it even appeared in the astronomer's field of view. Can you imagine a 19th-century obsessive scientist dedicating his life to searching for a planet, just like Mike Brown does today? Percival Lowell was convinced that there was another planet in the solar system, which he called Planet 9. The orbital irregularities of Uranus and Neptune led the astronomer to assume that Neptune wasn't the only planet in the system, and it turned out he was right. Unfortunately, Lowell did not live to see the discovery of Pluto in person. However, the wealthy scientist and businessman left his observatory to the world, where young researcher Clyde Tombaugh was hired. He went on to discover Pluto in 1930 by comparing several photographic plates. Pluto was our 9th planet until 2006, when it was declared a dwarf planet. The reason for this reclassification was the discovery of many other small planets in the Kuiper Belt. Mike Brown, who is now searching for Planet 9, was the catalyst for Pluto's demotion. This happened simply because Brown, a passionate researcher of the Kuiper Belt, also discovered most of the objects in this region. Among specialists, he is even jokingly called the killer of Pluto. Although it was not Brown's intention, the decision to remove Pluto from the ranks of major planets was not his, but that of an International Assembly of Astronomers in 2006. This assembly discussed what qualifies as a true planet and what does not. What makes a real planet? Are you one of those people who still don't fully understand why Pluto is no longer considered a planet, and what distinguishes dwarf planets from true planets? You're like the astronomers because for a long time they didn't know either. Despite some studies, the International Astronomical Union agreed that a planet must be roughly round, orbit the Sun independently, meaning on its own orbit, and have a cleared orbit. Pluto failed on the last point. It is almost round and orbits the Sun on its own, but its orbit is not completely cleared. It shares its orbit with other objects. That's why it is no longer officially considered one of the main planets. Many astronomers and space fans found this decision controversial. Thousands of students and ordinary citizens worldwide wrote letters protesting the reclassification of Pluto. Despite these protests, the astronomical community still stands by this decision. However, some astronomers ignore it, and for them, Pluto is just another planet. Optimists even foresee a softening of this classification because it is scientifically untenable. Indeed, Pluto is a planet, as are certain other objects like Sedna, which is also nearly round, or Haumea, another nearly round dwarf planet located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. At present, we know of about 13 known planets, and if we include large and small nearly round planets, the known planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Sedna, Haumea, and Makemake. That's a bit more to remember in school, but it's not really an issue for not recognizing these small planets or excluding them from the ranks of major or true planets. We had to memorize a lot of silly things when we were in school, and anyone who truly cares about space will certainly be happy to remember all the names. Perhaps at some point, we will see all these planet-like bodies officially recognized as planets, and maybe another great planet will be added. It could even be the catalyst for this revolution. What would happen if it were large, round, and had no clear orbit? A planet 10 times the size of Earth would then officially be classified as a trans-Neptunian object, TNO, or an unclassified object. For now, Planet 9 remains a mystery. We don't know exactly what it looks like, but here's a creative speculative description of its future. Imagine a fictional future in which Planet 9 has been found, and we finally know what this fantastic planet looks like. It turns out that Planet 9 is an interesting mix of a massive rocky planet and a strange ice world. Its core, made of iron and unusually heavy rock, gives the planet a unique place among others. It is highly metallic and mineral-rich, both icy and covered with snowy landscapes and methane ice. Scientists have also discovered possible deposits of water in the frozen depths of this planet. NASA, in cooperation with other space agencies on Earth, is planning to send a probe to search for this planet. An international commission has decided to officially name the 9th planet Nox. This ancient deity of darkness has become the namesake for Planet 9 because it orbits in almost total darkness. This preference for the dark regions of our solar system makes it difficult to study. However, thanks to the new Vera Rubin Observatory, not only has Planet 9 been discovered, but investigations have also made significant progress. In this fictional future, Planet 9 could indeed prove to be 10 times larger than Earth. Mike Earthy Colored has become a famous astronomer, and alongside his colleague Clyde Tombaugh, he has entered history. The discovery of Planet 9 has raised a number of questions. How could such a large and heavy rocky planet orbit so far in the solar system? Some scientists have suggested that Planet 9 was once closer to the Sun and was pushed outward due to massive gravitational disruptions in the solar system. Other scientists propose that Nox is actually a planet that migrated from another star system and was attracted to our Sun during a close encounter with a star millions of years ago. This hypothesis has also been suggested for Neptune, as it is so different from the other planets due to its remarkable properties. It is conceivable that Nox and Neptune came from the same solar system, which would raise further questions about planetary relocation and the existence of a multicultural society in the universe. Given that several other exoplanets may have been discovered by then, all being small planets, we could also come to the idea that there are other planets beyond the limits of the Kuiper Belt, and that our solar system is far more vast and rich than we previously thought. Additionally, there is the Oort cloud, an almost unexplored band in which scientists today only suspect the presence of asteroids, comets, and smaller rocks. But in the future, we could discover that planetoids also hide in the Oort cloud. What would this mean for our science? We must simply recognize here and now that we are far from knowing everything about our solar system or even the universe. Our planet is still full of wonders, and what is exciting about research is that new doors and aspects are constantly opening. What was true yesterday may be overturned today with other revolutionary discoveries. Subscribe to the channel now to see more exciting videos about space.